Hey guys, welcome back to another Vancouver versus
Toronto video. We just want to take a couple seconds out first to thank each and every one of you guys who have shown support for this series.
And it honestly means a lot when you guys suggest new topics for us to compare.
This week we'll be talking about the top 3 spots you must see if you're a tourist coming into Toronto or Vancouver.
We also have 2 bonus photography spots to up your Instagram game, so make sure you guys stay tuned until the end of this video.
So the first spot on my list is the RAW Museum. That stands for the Royal Ontario Museum. So the Royal Ontario Museum is one of the largest museums in North America, and it's the largest museum in Canada, and honestly it's one of my favorite museums I've been to. There's thousands and thousands of artifacts. You can expect anything to do with art, history, architecture, nature, and everything in between. The price of admission for an adult for the general admission is $20. If you show a student ID, it's $16.50. But to access the other exhibits for the ongoing themes could be more expensive, around $30 or $35. If you're coming to this museum, you can expect to stay for about an hour to an hour and a half. That's usually how long I stay. That's usually how long I see other people stay. So expect that range if you're coming to visit.
So for the first spot in Vancouver, we have a place called Science World. If you guys don't know what Science World is, it's basically just a huge sphere of science. From what I remember, there's a theater and 3 main floors, and each floor has its own exhibitions. The exhibitions can range anywhere between how to animate a Disney movie or to historic dinosaurs. It really covers a lot of different things, and usually sometimes they change the main exhibitions every 6 months. So for admission rates, it can cost you anywhere between $18 to $27, depending if you're a student, if you're above 19, if you're a child. Keep in mind that if you're a kid under the age of 3, you do get it for free.
So second on my list is the Ripleys Aquarium, and this is a must-see. So this aquarium is split into 3 sections. First is the jellyfish section people absolutely love. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and a lot of people come here for Instagram photos. Second, in the middle is the shark section where you're being taken on a treadmill under this glass tunnel, completely made out of glass. So you're able to see above, around, all the sharks and fish swimming around you. And honestly, it's an amazing experience. Lastly, the section is for interactions. So you're able to play and touch the fish and other animals. For the tickets, there's 3 different types of tickets. First ticket is an all-day ticket, which means that you buy the ticket, you can come any time of the day, and that ticket costs $37 for an adult. The second type of ticket is a time ticket. So you pick when you want to come, when you want to end, and that ticket's $32 for an adult. And lastly, there's a ticket if you decide to come at night, which is only $30 compared to the other 2. And from my experience, people tend to stay an hour to an hour and a half when they do decide to come to this aquarium.
So for the second spot for Vancouver, it's basically just a huge field of green called Stanley Park. It's pretty similar to New York Central Park, but it's probably like a third of the size. There's a really beautiful scenic walk right by the water. You can catch a really beautiful view of the Vancouver skyline. And if you're a photographer or anything like that, at night you can probably get some really cool long exposure shots of the city. Running or walking isn't really your thing. You can either bike or also drive through the park. There's designated parking spots throughout the park for different vantage points for you to take really beautiful pictures of either the forest or the city. I highly recommend driving all the way to the top, and there's a place called Prospect Point. Basically you can get a really beautiful shot of the Lionsgate Bridge. Again, if you're a photographer, I highly recommend coming here at night. You can get a really beautiful long exposure shot of the bridge with a lot of the cars driving by on the bottom. Since it's basically just a park, there is no entry fee. You can come in whenever you want. It's open 24 hours. But unfortunately, during the daytime, you will have to pay for parking. Personally, I never do, but don't come knocking at my door if you get a ticket. So for Stanley Park, you can usually find yourself staying about probably an hour or 2 hours, depending if you like to take a lot of pictures or you're just walking or driving through the park.
And the last spot on the list, yes, you guessed it, is the CN Tower. One of the tallest buildings in North America. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about it, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but what you guys might not know is that you're actually able to walk around the sky pod, obviously if you pay more money. So for the tickets, there's 2 different types of tickets. There's general admission ticket, which lets you go up 2 observation levels. Doesn't let you go up to the very top, and this is for $38. But I'm sure if you're a tourist, you're gonna want to go to the very top. You know, look at the whole skyline, look at Toronto from the very top, from the highest point, and that'll cost you $53. So if you want to walk around the Sky Pod, that's gonna start at $195. I've actually never done it, so I can't tell you how it is. I've never experienced it before, but I've heard that's really fun, heard that's really safe. Someone's always there to take care of you, strap you in, so it's a safe and it's a fun environment. And lastly, there is a bundle for a CN Tower and Ripleys Aquarium. And you guys might not know, but it's actually right beside each other. The CN Tower and Ripleys Aquarium are a 10-second walk away from each other. The bundle costs $58, however, it doesn't let you go to the very top of the CN Tower, which is a bummer. It lets you go up to the second observation level, but you also have access to the aquarium as well. At the CN Tower, people tend to stay around half an hour to an hour, depending if you want to take photos, how many photos you want to take. But people don't tend to stay that long, in my experience.
So the last spot for Vancouver is a little place called Gastown. I highly recommend checking this place out, especially if you're already in the downtown area. Honestly, I really don't know much about the history of this place. It honestly just looks really cool with other brick buildings that are still preserved to this day. You can even see like the railroad tracks on the floor sometimes, and even the floor is covered in red brick. So it's honestly pretty recognizable and definitely very Instagrammable. Aside from just looking at brick walls, you'll be able to do a little bit of shopping. There's a couple of really low-key high-end shops here that offer some brands that aren't that well known, which is pretty cool. And there's also a select few of restaurants that are really good to eat at. So you'll probably find yourself spending around 2 to 3 hours here in Gastown, depending on what you do. But if you're like me, I like to find a coffee shop and just either do my homework or do some video editing. Then I'll probably stay up for around 5 to 6 hours.
Now for a little bonus spot for you guys to take Instagram photos, it would definitely be this huge Toronto sign located on Queen Street. So the sign just says Toronto, it lights up, it changes colors. It's absolutely beautiful for you guys to take pictures. And if you come during the winter time, there's an ice skating rink in front of it, which allows you to skate around it. You know, come with your friends, come with your family. You can rent skates if you don't have skates. You can bring your own skates. A lot of people just come here, take photos. But at the same time, I realize that there's a lot of people that aren't tourists that come here too, so you can engage with other people, you can interact with other people, and it's just a lot of fun in general.
And the bonus photography location for Vancouver is like this little graffiti alley. This is one of the first spots I came to when I first started getting into photography that my friends took me to. It's honestly a really versatile space. I like to take portraits here. I think I did a brand shooting here for a clothing line. It's honestly just pretty cool, and if you're in Vancouver, this spot is really close to Gastown, so I highly suggest checking it out.
And that's gonna be a wrap for the top 3 spots in Toronto, Vancouver if you're coming to visit.
All of these spots in Vancouver and Toronto are all really easily accessible by walking or taking the public transit, especially if you're living in the downtown area. If you're living a little bit further out, I either suggest taking a cab, renting a car, or taking Uber. Keep in mind that this is only part 1 of tourism spots. Both of these cities are honestly pretty big, so there's a lot of different spots we haven't covered in this video.
Keep suggesting more topics for us to compare in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and make sure you guys follow us on Instagram to keep updated with us and learn more about the cities